From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Good Thursday morning. We're still tracking just the one fire within the viewing area. That would be the Williams Mine fire burning to the south of Mount Adams in extreme southwestern Yakima County. We did get an acreage update with this yesterday. It grew by a grand total of 2 whole acres, and it's still 31% contained, so not really a big update with this fire. And again, that's the only one we really have burning in the region. Right now, temperatures are in the 40s and 50s, similar to what we saw yesterday morning. Remember, we got pretty close to temperatures dropping down into the 30s in Sunnyside yesterday morning. We'll track that again for this morning as we're down to 42 right now. A little bit later today, it's going to be much more seasonal as opposed to yesterday. Yesterday was pretty fall-like. It was very nice if you did happen to make it outdoors yesterday, but much hotter for today, much hotter by Labor Day weekend. And then we are tracking a little thunderstorm chance for Labor Day and Tuesday. That might pose a risk for some fire starts. But back to today, I'll tell you just how seasonal and warm it's going to be for this Thursday. That's going to be coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
Straight ahead on Good Morning Northwest, Mapton has been dealing with controversy ever since June when a city employee was accused of stealing $22,000. We'll get you caught up on all that's happened.
And Brian Koberger, the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students, is back in court this morning. We have the details on what today's court meeting will be discussing. Good Morning Northwest starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest on your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
And I'm Jill Sperling. It is Thursday, August 29th. We're getting closer to that weekend, and it's a long one.
End of August, and then September starts, and the year's pretty much over by then.
Oh, no, we're not at the end yet. But a busy weekend coming up. Of course, today is a busy travel day. Tomorrow is supposed to be even more busy.
Absolutely, and we're going to be talking more about that later on this morning. But we're going to start off with your top stories. A Benton Franklin transit bus ended up crashing into a yard in Richland last night.
Yes, this video comes to us from a viewer, and you can see first responders on the scene and a bus off the road. This happened at Lee Boulevard and Thayer Avenue across from Carmichael Middle School just after 7 p.m. Few details have been released, but we'll have an update when we know more. 3 people were taken to the hospital after a crash yesterday afternoon. Benton County Fire District 1 says this truck was found more than 50 feet off the road on Highway 397 just southeast of Kennewick.
Airbags deployed as a result of the crash, and Washington State Patrol is investigating. None of the injuries were considered life-threatening. In crime news from Grant County, Quincy residents were asked to shelter in place last night after law enforcement says 2 robbery suspects were knocking on doors.
According to the sheriff's office, police were tracking the 2 suspects after they allegedly stole a vehicle, crashed it, and then took off on foot. Shortly after 9 p.m., reports started coming in that the suspects were in the 800 block of Rocky Lane in Quincy, knocking on doors and asking for rides. The sheriff's office sent out a notice telling people to lock their doors.
Both suspects were caught soon after, and residents were told they could stop sheltering inside of their homes.
Following up on a homicide case out of Walla Walla, the 31-year-old man accused of the crime was arraigned yesterday morning.
Ramiro Ibarra was first arrested for allegedly assaulting his infant child back on August 15th. But on Tuesday, police were notified that the infant succumbed to its injuries. Back in mid-August, major crimes detectives were called to both the hospital and home address to start the investigation and process the crime scene. And these are pictures of the 4-month-old where his family has set up a GoFundMe page. Walla Walla PD says Ibarra is now being charged with homicide by abuse, which is a Class A felony.
The officers and the paramedics knew that this wasn't just a choking baby like they typically respond to when babies aren't breathing, that this infant had been assaulted or there was significant trauma. I would even venture to say this is uncommon for even larger cities. I just don't think we hear about this regularly, that 4-month-old infants are essentially murdered.
If you would like to donate to the family, they have set up a GoFundMe page. It's called Baby Ramiro's Fight, and you can find that link up on our website. And stay with us for continuing coverage.
The man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students in 2022 will be back in court this morning for one of the most consequential hearings in this case to date. Brian Koberger's attorney will try to convince the judge to move the trial to Ada County, while prosecutors will try to convince the judge to keep the trial in Moscow.
Koberger's lead attorney, Ann Taylor, is adamant that an impartial jury does not exist in Moscow. She also says relentless media coverage has corrupted the integrity of the case. And a Richland man is indicted on 10 counts of conspiracy, fraud, and aggravated identity theft. Gilbert Orozco is accused of working with others in an effort to get personal information of other people and use it to apply for COVID funding from the government.
The U.S. Attorney's Office says Orozco stole over $300,000 from the government by using the identities of others. The city of Mabton has been the subject of controversy since June when a city employee was accused of stealing $22,000 in checks and cash in a fake robbery scheme.
But more concerns coming to light over the past few months. Apple Valley News Now's Emily Goodell has a breakdown of what's happened so far and an update on efforts to remove her from office.
A Yakima County Superior Court judge agreed this week to allow a second petition against the Mabton mayor, one filed by a resident, to move forward. But council members now tell me that the mayor has filed an appeal in the first petition, which was signed by the council members themselves. Mayor Rachel Ruelas has admitted in court that the city has been operating without a budget for all of 2024.
I'm really cautious about how we spend the money. So we're not spending anything, going out and buying the equipment, that is not needed.
The mayor telling the judge the budget will be finished in 2 weeks. Meanwhile, the council left making decisions without knowing how much money they have in the bank. But they now have access to new legal counsel after firing the previous city attorney, despite the mayor's refusal to sign the new contract.
We were employed by the city council at the last city meeting, which was 2 weeks ago. And so as a result of that, the mayor pro tem signed off on the contract to employ us. So we're acting as de facto city attorney at this point. The city will ratify the contract at the next meeting.
But still, no information released about how the city's dealing with the loss of $22,000. Whether they've put the employee accused in the fake robbery scheme on administrative leave or launched an internal investigation.
Nobody knows anything. We don't have a chief no more, so who's investigating this?
We're not going to talk about that right now, I'm sorry.
I've tried to reach the mayor by phone, email, and in person at City Hall, in council chambers, and at the courthouse. But so far, the mayor has refused to speak with me about the city's response to the missing money, the recall petitions against her, or the fact that they continue to operate without a budget. It's left the community with more questions than answers, but we'll continue to push for those answers moving forward. Reporting from the Yakima Newsroom, Emily Goodell, Apple Valley News Now.
In Pasco, the fire department was called out to a mobile home fire off of Flamingo Street yesterday morning. Firefighters say one home received significant damage, but crews were mopping up after about 30 minutes. No injuries were reported, and the investigation into how the fire started is now underway.
The Benton Franklin Health District has sent out a community survey for residents impacted by the Lineage fire.
The survey is in response to concerns raised by residents at the Lineage Logistics Fire Town Hall meeting held in Findlay back in May. Officials say the purpose is to gather essential data on the health impacts experienced by those living within a 1-mile radius of the Lineage Logistics warehouse.
But there is that kind of immediate group that is still struggling with well water issues. We still got well waters testing for E. coli, which means, they can't bathe, they can't drink water, they can't water their livestock. We've got a couple houses that are struggling with septic issues. It's still a really imminent threat and an issue for them, which is concerning to us, but as well as on a personal level. Like, if you can't get drinking water, that's a huge issue every single day for you.
The survey was mailed in an envelope that should be easy to recognize, featuring red, white, and blue colors with Lineage response displayed across the top. The county is asking residents to complete and return the survey by August 30th, and the survey should take approximately 15 minutes.
Up next on Good Morning Northwest, almost 100 people died of an overdose last year in Yakima, and a treatment center in Yakima is holding an event to bring awareness to the issue. Details coming up.
But first, Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth will have your weather forecast. Good Morning Northwest. We'll be right back.
It only happens once a year. Steve Hunt Kia Summer Clearance Sale. So don't get stuck in the slush. Bring any trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Can take advantage of Steve Hunt All-Wheel Drive Sale. All with 0 down, 0 payments for 90 days. Steve Hunt Kia.com.
Our new orthopedic regenerative medicine clinic with Prosser Memorial Health orthopedic surgeon Dr. Jeffrey B. Higgs is now offering a variety of treatments, including platelet-rich plasma injections to enhance injury recovery, promote healing, and treat pain associated with early osteoarthritis. To schedule an appointment, call Prosser Orthopedic Center at 509-786-5599 or learn more at prosserhealth.org. This is how we care.
Drive into summer with a new Honda Accord Hybrid, CR-V Hybrid, or the all-new Civic Hybrid. Take a vacation, staycation, or just a weekend drive with the windows down. Whatever you do, make it epic with Honda. The 2024 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Overall EV and Hybrid Brand. So act now. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or hurry into the Honda Summer Event.
Another morning to savor the crunchy nooks and cranny splendor of a Thomas's English muffin.
Tom, which is a nook and which is a cranny?
That's a nook, cranny, 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 nook, cranny. I mean, they should be teaching you this in school. Huzzah! A toast to breakfast.
Labor Day is finally here. It's our biggest savings event of the year, and you'll find huge savings on our newest fall arrivals for every room in your home. During the Labor Day event, you'll get a full 60 months to pay with absolutely no interest and no money down. Or for cash purchases, we'll subtract the tax. Join us this Labor Day weekend with special hours Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Hurry into your local More Furniture showroom for the best selection.
It only happens once a year. Steve Hunt Kia Summer Clearance Sale. So don't get stuck in the slush. Bring any trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Can take advantage of Steve Hunt All-Wheel Drive Sale. All with 0 down, 0 payments for 90 days. Steve Hunt Kia.com.
Take it away!
Tonight.
This is amazing!
Looking for fun?
Stop! No whammy!
Are you in luck?
Stop! Who doesn't want that? We all need that!
Press your luck tonight on ABC.
Every locally broadcast game, the Seattle Kraken, all season long on Apple Valley News Now. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. You maybe noticed a little bit of smoke in the sky yesterday. It was from an agricultural burn that's happening in Franklin County. Still seeing a little bit of smoke right now, at least per our smoke model. And let's show you what happens with this a little bit later in the day, in addition to some of the smoke that's getting streamed in from some of the Idaho fires. And we are thinking there could be a little bit more haze in portions of the Blue Mountains and foothills, also for the lower Columbia Basin. And then into Friday, it looks like all that becomes a little bit less prevalent overall, though still in the Blue Mountains and around the periphery of our viewing area still could get a little bit of that light haze, but overall, air quality is going to be pretty good over the next couple of days. Here's your CoatCast for today for the Tri-Cities. And yeah, you're still going to need a light jacket for this morning, maybe even into the mid to late morning. But by the late morning and into the afternoon, certainly it's going to be t-shirt weather, as we'll see a return to more seasonal values for today. Remember, yesterday felt very fall-like. We were about 10 degrees below average for this time of the year. It's not going to be the case for today. Most of us will end up in the 80s, plenty of sunshine, and a little bit of light haze for the basin, foothills, and for the Blue Mountains. Now, as we head into this weekend, these numbers turn into 90s, maybe even some triple digits. I'll tell you just how hot we get. Also, I'll show you a bit of a lightning risk, a thunderstorm risk in the forecast. So all that's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. In your health headlines this morning, the CDC is issuing yet another warning about a popular brand of deli meat. Another listeria outbreak is connected to Boar's Head deli meat. So far, at least 9 people have died from the contaminated meat, and the CDC says there's also been 57 confirmed illnesses linked to listeria in 18 states. For this outbreak, Boar's Head has said it's intensely investigating what the root cause is. Back in July, the company recalled more than 7 million pounds of its ready-to-eat liverwurst and some other deli meats like ham, bologna, sausage, and roasted bacon. Boar's Head says the products currently in store are not part of any recall. In more health news, Yakima's Triumph Treatment Center is holding its 8th annual International Overdose Awareness Day event tomorrow. Organizers say 96 people died of an overdose last year in Yakima County. This event features speakers who have experienced overdose, lost friends or family, or are working to help save lives. Plus, there will be nearly 30 community resources for those seeking help. Also, a memory wall where people can include pictures of loved ones lost to overdose.
Many more hundreds of people experienced overdose and didn't pass from that, but the problem is overwhelming, and it's affecting our families and our children and our communities as well as our first responders.
The event is free and will be from 10 to 2 Friday at Sarge Hubbard Park. There will also be coffee, donuts, ice cream, and a remembrance rock painting activity. Up next on Good Morning Northwest, a small business workshop was held locally, helping connect employers and those looking for a job. We have details on the event and when you can check out the next one coming up.
Look, here's a phone company who wants us to use our phones less.
That's ironic.
Yeah, but in a good way. Let's find us again with Us Mode. U.S. Cellular, built for us. It's a free ride, but I already paid.
Goodwill provides opportunities for those that might have barriers to employment.
Those barriers could be disabilities all the way up to recently incarcerated, and our job is to find a way to give these folks the skills to find gainful employment in the community.
We provide such a wide variety of training. Our ECC organizations can get somebody a job.
The relationships that are built through those programs gives these organizations a long-time employee if they so wish.
Goodwill. Donate, shop, impact locally.
The Pacific Clinic is a health, sports, and medical campus in Kennewick now accepting new patients for primary care. We offer patient-specific solutions for physical, mental, and emotional health concerns. You'll receive quality one-on-one time with our medical professionals and experienced support team. Begin your new health plan with today's best technologies and facilities for the whole family. Play hard, live well at the PC. Call us at 509-783-5465 today.
Power your adventures with the all-electric 2024 Subaru Solterra. It comes with legendary Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive, standard, plus a rugged 8.3 inches of ground clearance. Everything about the Subaru Solterra is advanced, including the technology keeping you and your passengers safe. Love is now electric.
Find your way home in a new Subaru Solterra from McCurley Subaru during the Subaru A Lot to Love event.
Save now with Cascade Farm and Outdoors' latest mailer. Watch for it in your mailbox or pick up a copy in store. It's the perfect time to get the perfect pair of jeans. Save now on women's premium jeans. Stock up on Golden Fire or Lignetic's 40-pound stove fuel pellets. Plus, compare and save on Nutrina NatureWise 40-pound layer feed crumbles or pellets on sale now. Reap big savings store-wide with our latest mailer at Cascade Farm and Outdoor. Northwest, homegrown, honest values.
Our phones were made to help us connect, and somehow they've made us less connected. Which is ironic, don't you think? Oh, I love this song so much. Let's find us again with Us Mode. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
Good Morning Northwest streams all day at AppleValleyNewsNow.com and our mobile apps. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Right now you're taking a live look at Kennewick. This view coming courtesy of Health First. The camera's right over our heads right now. Okay, current temperatures in the 40s and 50s, 42 for Sunnyside, 50 for Hanford. So just about as cool as we were for yesterday morning, maybe a smidge warmer, but I'm thinking most of us do need a jacket as you're headed out the front door. A little bit later today, it's going to be the return to seasonal weather, what you would expect typically for late August, as we'll have temperatures in the 80s. Should be plenty of sunshine out there. Could be a little bit of haze within the lower Columbia Basin, also within the foothills of the Blues and for the Blue Mountains proper. Then for tonight, temperatures slipping back down into the 50s. Overall should be warmer compared to this morning. Should have pretty clear skies out there. Okay, so today's seasonal, and that's going to be some of the coolest weather that we'll have over the next 7 days, as we'll be up around triple digits by the time we get to Sunday, and then temperatures falling off a little bit after that, but still above average for this time of the year. Also, we are tracking little shower and thunderstorm chances for Monday and Tuesday. And given that we'll have such hot and dry weather in the run up to this, that means that fuels are going to look pretty dry. So we'll have the risk for lightning over dry fuels. We'll have the risk for fire starts. We'll touch on that more a little bit later in the show. Here's a 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. We'll see temperatures that'll surge up to near triple digits by the time we get to Sunday, and then falling back down into the low to mid 90s for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. For Yakima, mid 80s for today, 90s for Friday through, well, next Wednesday. And it does look like maybe we'll get a little bit cooler by Labor Day, also being helped out by some of the clouds up in the sky. For Ellensburg, highs surging into the mid 90s for Saturday and Sunday, a little bit cooler by Labor Day with low 90s, and then we'll be back down into the 80s, upper 80s, albeit for Tuesday. And then for Hermiston, a light haze for today. We'll see temperatures going back up into the 90s for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but then falling off into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Then for Walla Walla, kind of see the same cycle. 80s for today, 90s through Monday at least, but then getting cooled off into Tuesday and Wednesday. A little shower possible for Tuesday.
Thank you, Josh. WorkSource Columbia Basin hosted a small business workshop yesterday. WorkSource provides a connection between job seekers and employers. The bilingual language session discussed information from starting a business to hiring employees. Presenters also discussed small business resources like the Community Reinvestment Fund, which allows WorkSource to offer tailored resources to established businesses.
Work experience, on the job training, or if you're a business and need assistance with any type of training related to your industry, we can pay for those trainings. If you need equipment related to your industry, we can purchase those equipment.
Workshops are open to the public, and the next small business workshop will be on September 7th at the Tri-Cities Visitor Center. A schedule of future workshops can be found at worksourcewa.com. United Airlines flight attendants could be walking off the job after an overwhelming majority voted yesterday to authorize a strike. That's if their contract negotiations continue to hit a dead end through November. The Association of Flight Attendants say the move to vote on a strike was fueled by United's lack of negotiating in good faith. The union members have been working with an amended contract that expired in 2021. The flight attendants want a pay increase as well as pay upgrades for schedule flexibility, on-ground duties, and retroactive pay. Ford Motor Company is the latest American company to scale back on its diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. The automobile manufacturer told employees in a memo yesterday. Ford said it will no longer participate in an annual survey for an LGBTQ advocacy group. It will also not use quotas for minority dealerships and suppliers. According to an email shared with employees, Ford CEO said the external and legal environment related to political and social issues continues to evolve. Ford's move follows announcements from several other companies, which have also made changes to their own DEI policies. Up next on Good Morning Northwest, say his name 3 times and he will appear. Well, just wait a few minutes and we'll have a sneak peek at the Beetlejuice sequel. That's coming up in your entertainment headlines.
Is that house-made guac going on a Carl's Jr. burger? Smooth, zesty, charbroiled, beefy, melty pepper jack, cheesy, saucy temptation, crisp bacon too. I give. Give in to the guac bacon burger, only at Carl's Jr. Big burger.
Get burger. No matter what roads lead you home, McCurley Mazda is about to make your journey even better. Whether it's cruising riverside highways, winding vineyard trails, or anywhere else your travels take you, now is the perfect time to upgrade your way home. Visit McCurley in the Pasco Autoplex today for this special offer.
Find your way home in a new 2024 Mazda with 0% financing from McCurley Mazda.
Save now with Bi-Mart's latest savings book, arriving in your mailbox this week, or pick up a copy in store. Save $7 on Fruit of the Loom hooded sweatshirts, hot priced at just $11.99. Mobile One 5-quart high mileage synthetic oil is just $24.99. Papa Nicholas Coffee 80-count single-serve cups are $7 off. Plus save on Planters cashews and deluxe mixed nuts. Celebrating 20 years of employee ownership. Save more now with our latest savings book at Bi-Mart.
Labor Day is finally here. It's our biggest savings event of the year, and you'll find huge savings on our newest fall arrivals for every room in your home. During the Labor Day event, you'll get a full 60 months to pay with absolutely no interest and no money down. Or for cash purchases, we'll subtract the tax. Join us this Labor Day weekend with special hours Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Hurry into your local More Furniture showroom for the best selection.
Hi, I'm Catherine Forner, and we love our own backyard so much, we built all of this.
With hardwood decking and basalite pavers.
And we just finished this deck for one of our best customers.
With TimberTech decking and Fortress railing.
And we get everything we need from Par. With Shauna's help.
Everything from design to delivery.
What would we do without you?
Par, your total home building source since 1930. Go where the builders go.
What are you gonna build?
Is that house-made guac going on a Carl's Jr. burger? Smooth, zesty, charbroiled, beefy, melty pepper jack, cheesy, saucy temptation, crisp bacon too. I give. Give in to the guac bacon burger, only at Carl's Jr. Big burger.
Good burger.
An awesome water skiing adventure. Fly the Northwest, Tuesday at 6.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. In entertainment news this morning, we're talking about some upcoming movies.
Everything from a long-awaited sequel to a little-known tale of World War II heroism.
David Daniel has that in today's Hollywood Minute.
The juice is loose.
I'm gonna make you so happy. Beetlejuice made them happy in Venice. The Tim Burton sequel, 36 years in the making, which reunites Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, and Catherine O'Hara, drew a lengthy standing ovation after its world premiere at the Venice Film Festival. The movie appears in theaters September 6th.
Soldiers, you must be perfect. You do not have the luxury to be good. You have the burden to be better.
Here's your first look at Tyler Perry's The 688, inspired by the only Women's Army Corps unit of color to serve overseas in World War II. Executive producer Kerry Washington leads the ensemble cast. The 688 opens in select theaters December 6th and streams on Netflix December 20th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
All right, Jessica, going back to Beetlejuice, I know you're a big fan of spooky season. Is that one you're going to have to go see?
Definitely. Okay. I actually recently watched the first Beetlejuice, so
you
I'm
have
like,
to get caught up.
I couldn't remember it. I'm like, I don't remember what happened, so I'm all caught up now and I'm ready.
Yeah.
You need to. It's kind of weird though. I don't know. Do you like it? Have you seen it?
I have not, but we were talking about Michael Keaton yesterday with Batman, so two days in a row.
He's going to watch it too.
Well, the host of the 82nd Annual Golden Globe Awards has been announced, and it is comedian and actress Nikki Glaser. She's the latest in a long line of comedians to host the awards, which honors the best in film and television.
That list includes Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Jimmy Fallon, and many more. And Glaser's resume includes 2 cable comedy specials and being the host of a podcast and reality TV show.
She also hosted the Roast of Tom Brady special that aired on Netflix earlier this year. The Golden Globes airs on January 5th.
And I think we've talked about this, but we don't really watch award shows anymore. We kind of catch the highlights.
We have to get up a little too early to stay up late for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, coming up next on Good Morning Northwest at 5:30, there are changes for RSD students when it comes to cell phone use in classrooms. We have an in-depth look at what the new rules are and how students are feeling about it.
Plus, new details have been released by the FBI on the assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump. That's in the next half hour, but first, ABC's Andrew Dimbert has today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Yelp sues Google. The review platform has filed an antitrust lawsuit against Google, claiming the tech giant unfairly promotes its own services over competitors. Google denies the claims, calling them meritless and pointing to previous dismissals. ESPN is launching Where to Watch. Sports fans can now find where games are playing every day across all networks. Favorite teams can be set for quick updates, but don't expect it to lower your subscription costs. And finally, Meta is now letting preteens use Horizon Worlds. Kids aged 10 to 12 can join the 3D social platform with parental approval. Parents can control what experiences they access, which are age-related, and whether voice chat is enabled. But you know, downloading all these virtual reality games is probably also going to cost a whole lot of cash. I'm Andrew Dimbert. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
I'll give you $574 if you switch.
For an ice cream? Okay.
So what about $574 for switching your home insurance to Allstate?
Tempting, but that's way too much of a hassle.
Actually, it's not. Allstate can handle the switching for you. Just call them.
But it's easy and I could save?
And you get Allstate.
Like a cherry on top.
Oh, you brought your own.
Check Allstate first and you could save hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Once in a lifetime, it's never enough.
Never enough.
For all the joy, the love, the warmth, the brilliance. Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. For all who love. Pandora, lab-grown diamonds.
To stay on top of my game, I need to keep up my energy.
Cliff Bar is purposely crafted with 10 grams of protein and organic oats.
Because the more good you put in, the more great you get out.
Cliff, the most important ingredient is you.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest. On your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
I'm Jill Sperling.
And I'm Josh Colbert.
Can you believe it's almost the end of August? The kids are already back in school.
I know, it flew by.
Where did the time go?
I have no idea, but it was cold for like a day or two, and we're getting back to those hot temperatures now, Josh?
Yeah, I know y'all love the fall. Y'all keep asking me about it. You got your 2 days. Now we're back into the
We like our sweater
stuff.
season.
Yeah, but by the time we get to October, who knows? It's anyone's ball game at that point. But for right now, you're taking a live look at Kennewick. This view coming courtesy of Health First. You're seeing some of those nice purpley shades up in the sky for this morning. There is a little bit of light haze up in the sky. I think it's mainly in Franklin County. Pretty good air quality across the map, though, for this morning. Temperatures are in the 40s and 50s, 50 degrees for Pendleton. In fact, it looks like other than Walla Walla, the rest of us have slipped down into the 40s. So certainly it is some jacket weather out there for this morning. Light jacket weather at the very least. A little bit later today, t-shirt weather. We're going to be in the 80s. We're still going to be, remember yesterday it was 10 degrees below average. So today's seasonal. It gets super seasonal as we head into the weekend. That means that fire fuels are going to look pretty dry. I'll show you just how dry they're going to be by the time we get to Labor Day. That's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Well, as students head back to the classroom, there are some changes for Richland students. At a meeting earlier this week, the Richland School Board spent the night talking about cell phone usage, as 4 RSD schools have taken on the challenge of banning phones.
At the high schools, it's just during class, but at the middle schools, there are no phones from the first bell to the last. Riley Fitzgerald says the policy is leaving some students feeling apprehensive.
I was a little less excited when I first heard about it. I was like, oh, I can't text my friends, I can't text my family.
Perspectives, however, can change.
The research shows that not just learning improves, but mental health improves with these policies.
Especially hearing during the meeting about mental health, I'm such a big advocate for mental health and stuff like that, and that didn't even cross my mind.
Sheila Deckerty is a senior at Richland High. She says walking into RHS on the first day of school, there was concern, confusion, and a little bit of stress. The thing is, these high schools have always had a phone ban like this.
High schools are implementing current policy, actually. I don't think that's a policy change. They're just enforcing what the policy already is.
The new push is about enforcement and consistency.
I feel like we need to be specific about how we're going to be consistent from school to school, how we're going to enforce it.
While it's just during class times that phones aren't allowed at the high schools, it's more at the 2 middle schools, Carmichael and Enterprise.
They have taken a big step. They went big or go home. So it's going to be really interesting, and I'm excited about it because the high schools who have started to dabble in a little bit, but I think it's a bigger process because we have more kids. It has the ability to show the board the pros and cons of both. I personally, and I'm only one board member, would like to see absolutely no cell phones in our schools from the time the bell rings in the morning until the bell rings in the afternoon.
This meeting was just about discussion to potentially enact district-wide policy at a later time.
It's not like I don't want my phone. Obviously I want to use my phone, but just coming from it at a logistical standpoint, it's going to be a lot more beneficial, and I think with anything, it just takes time.
The process moving forward is going to be about looking at the results from these 4 schools and then opening the floor to public comment. In Richland, I'm Riley Fitzgerald with Apple Valley News Now.
Some board members say they see a phone problem in the elementary schools as well.
Policy in the future may also include grade school students in that potential phone ban.
And now to another topic discussed at the board meeting, progress on construction throughout RSD.
The district is doing construction at 11 schools, all focused on safety and security. This follows the capital projects levy passed by RSD voters in February 2023.
Our construction crews have been working evenings and weekends in preparation for student arrivals today.
Coming up later this week, we'll head to one of those construction sites to see some of the progress at the Richland schools. Briley Fitzgerald will have that story. We go to Pasco now, where the city held its last open house for its capital improvements plan last night. This was an opportunity for the community to discuss and give their feedback on the city's future plans.
The capital improvements plan details everything from city infrastructure to future investments. This is a plan that details what new developments and changes would be coming to Pasco in 2025 to the year 2030.
The plans in place can affect residents' everyday lives. For example, adding a park would affect people's commutes, which is why Pasco holds these open houses, as they want to be transparent with the community. Now, we'll keep you updated on what changes the city plans to bring, but for more details, visit our website.
The United States Supreme Court declined to lift the block on President Joe Biden's student loan repayment plan. The SAVE plan aims to slash monthly payments and quicken the path to loan forgiveness. The High Court turned down a request from the Biden administration to put the plan back in play yesterday.
This comes after lower courts blocked it this summer in a legal challenge brought by GOP-led states. The order has no immediate impact on the 8 million borrowers currently enrolled in the program.
The FBI has released new details about the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump at the July 13th rally in Pennsylvania. FBI officials say when Thomas Matthew Crooks approached the rally, he brought his backpack and this rifle. And that Crooks search history reveals he searched, quote, how far was Oswald from Kennedy?
He also searched, quote, how to make a bomb from fertilizer and how do remote detonators work. The FBI also released pictures of two improvised explosive devices that were found in Crooks's car, saying he had been researching IEDs since September 2019. In an FBI briefing yesterday, officials say Crooks had more than 60 searches on both Democratic and Republican campaign events.
Covering Russia just got harder for some American media outlets. Moscow issued a list of 92 people it says the country is permanently closed to. It includes journalists from CNN and the editor-in-chief of the Wall Street Journal. Also on the list are officials from the Justice Department, Treasury Department, Space Force, and professors from American universities.
The Russian Foreign Ministry says the bans are due to, quote, the Russophobic course pursued by the Biden administration. The step isn't unprecedented. Last year, Moscow banned 500 Americans, including former President Barack Obama and late-night television host Stephen Colbert. Driscoll's is offering a $100,000 matching fund challenge to help build the new Boys and Girls Club in Prosser. The Fresh Berry Company is matching up to $100,000 of all community donations made towards the funding of the construction between now and September 30th of this year. This is now a step closer to having a new Boys and Girls Clubhouse for the Prosser community. The clubhouse will be able to serve more than 200 youth each day, doubling its current capacity.
Lots of more space for our kids, so more kids are able to attend. We're going to have a STEM room and an art room and learning center to help with homework, an actual inside multi-purpose area as an activity center for like a gym, and so it'll be good for the kids to be able to be inside on those days when it's horrible weather outside.
The new clubhouse is projected to cost $6 million and is expected to open in early 2025.
Up next on Good Morning Northwest, an environmental group is calling for an investigation into Robert F. Kennedy Jr. This over a story about a dead whale from 2012. Details coming up.
But first, Chief Meteorologist Josh Culberth will have your weather forecast. We'll be right back.
Good Morning Northwest streams all day at AppleValleyNewsNow.com and our mobile apps.
Power your adventures with the all-electric 2024 Subaru Solterra. It comes with legendary Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive, standard, plus a rugged 8.3 inches of ground clearance. Everything about the Subaru Solterra is advanced, including the technology keeping you and your passengers safe. Love is now electric.
Find your way home in a new Subaru Solterra from McCurley Subaru during the Subaru A Lot to Love event.
Okay, guys, we're all here because US Cellular has an incredible deal. Right now, you can get 4 lines for just $90.
Sorry, just double checking. Is it really that good of a deal?
Yeah, it's a huge deal. You also get 4 free phones of your choice.
4 free phones! Wow, I just triple checked and that's awesome.
So go get that deal. Or at least help me clip. Do you check the expiration dates?
Oh, I can do that.
Great.
Get 4 free phones of your choice with no trade-in needed, plus 4 lines for $90.
At Mattress Depot USA, we believe everyone is entitled to a good night's sleep regardless of their credit situation. That's why we're approving everyone for up to $1,200 towards the purchase of a new mattress with no credit needed. You spend a third of your life in bed, and a comfortable mattress is essential for providing quality of life. $3,000 credit, 100-day savings cash with no credit needed. Only at Mattress Depot USA.
Low prices every day. Mattress Depot USA.
This summer, turn moments into lifelong memories with Broadmoor RV. Feel the thrill of adventure and the warmth of togetherness. Explore the great outdoors with the comfort of home, and let every adventure become a story worth sharing. Broadmoor RV. We make camping fun.
A lot is changing in our community right now. New roads, new schools, and new opportunities. We're growing, and that means there are more cars on our streets than ever before. That's why we're expanding our facilities and services. So no matter what roads lie ahead, you'll always find your way home.
As part of Wheels Make Wishes Come True, a generous portion of every vehicle sold will be donated to help local kids.
This is Lucky 13.
13 questions are all that stand between tonight's contestants and up to
$1 million.
Gina Rodriguez and Shaquille O'Neal host Lucky 13. New tonight on ABC.
Get ready for Football Friday when College Game Day comes early to GMA. It's going to be a party in Texas with the Texas A&M Yell Leaders hyping you up Labor Day weekend. Plus, dads, daughters, and football. What could be better than that? It's Football Friday tomorrow on GMA.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Right now, temperatures are in the 40s and 50s for the most part in Kittitas County, although we are down to 38 degrees in Cle Elum. In the Yakima Valley, 40s and 50s, 52 for Sela, 44 for Yakima, 48 degrees for Union Gap. And then for the Lower Columbia Basin, we're also seeing temperatures that are in the 40s. Looks like we're exclusively in the 40s. 45 for Tri-Cities, and then for the foothills of the Blues, we're in the 50s. Look at this for the higher terrain of the Blue Mountains, 20s and 30s. So quite cool up that way for this morning. A little bit later today, it is going to be much warmer as opposed to yesterday. Remember, yesterday we were about 10 degrees below average. Today is going to be seasonal. We'll be up into the 80s in the Tri-Cities. We'll have some very light haze up in the sky, not anticipating any big time reductions in air quality. And then we'll trend warmer as we head into the weekend. And by the time we get to Labor Day, here's what vegetation dryness is going to look like. And remember, the 100th percentile would be the driest vegetation on record. So we're going to be up into the 86th percentile in Kittitas and Yakima counties with some breezes in the forecast. And then we'll be into the 77th percentile for the Lower Columbia Basin. Here's the area in the microclimate that I'm most concerned about. That would be the Blue Mountains, where the vegetation dryness is going to be up into the 86th percentile with thunderstorms in the forecast. A low-end chance, but a chance nonetheless. And I'll show you just how hot we're going to get numbers like this. That's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. An environmental group is calling for an investigation into a recently resurfaced fishtail about Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Kennedy's daughter, Kathleen, shared the story with a magazine in 2012. She talked about how her dad used a chainsaw to cut off the head of a dead whale that washed up on the shore of their family's home in Massachusetts.
She says he then drove the whale's head back to their New York home on the roof of the family's minivan. And this next detail is not for the faint of heart. She said every time they accelerated, quote, whale juice poured into the windows.
The story appeared to resurface on social media last week. The Center for Biological Diversity Action Fund is calling on the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration to investigate whether RFK Jr. broke any federal laws that protect wildlife.
The fund believes Kennedy's actions may have jeopardized an opportunity for scientific research. In other environmental news, $100 million is going to the National Park Foundation.
The National Park Foundation says this grant is the largest it's ever received, as well as the largest to benefit America's 430 national park sites. The foundation says the money comes at a pivotal time as there have been challenges in protecting the parks.
Grant funding will target a handful of key priorities, such as critical initiatives to help protect fragile ecosystems and wildlife, and upgrades to parks to accommodate growing numbers of visitors. This grant adds to the foundation's ongoing $1 billion fundraising campaign.
Up next on Good Morning Northwest, Brian Koberger, the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students, is back in court this morning. Details why is coming up in your morning sprint.
Plus, Chief Meteorologist Josh Culberth will have your full weather forecast. Stay with us.
David, did you remember to get me an anniversary present?
Anniversary? Of course! It's Mattress Depot USA's anniversary sale.
Low prices every day. Mattress Depot USA.
Drive into summer with the rugged Honda Ridgeline, Passport, and Pilot. Summer is for exploring, so get outdoors, kick up some dust, get muddy, or just find that perfect campsite. All from Honda, the 2024 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value brand. So act now to get an offer you'll love. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or hurry into the Honda Summer Event.
It's time once again for the Walla Walla Valley Quilt Festival. 2 big days, September 13th and 14th at the Walla Walla Fairgrounds. This year's theme is 2 crayons. Quilters choose 2 colors randomly and then add a third to create amazing fabric works of art. Check out hourly demos, shop the vendors, and have a great time. Enjoy both big days for just $8. Meet featured quilter Robin Long of Robin Ruth Design and local featured quilter Julianne Gunningham. Mark your calendar now, September 13th and 14th, the Walla Walla Valley Quilt Festival.
I have prepared a Thomas's breakfast for you to savor together.
Thanks, Tom. Hey, are English muffins from England?
Heavens, no. They're from the pantry.
Are you from England?
Nay, I am also from the pantry. Huzzah! A toast to breakfast.
Thank you for making Apple Valley News Now's Good Morning Northwest the most watched local morning news program in our area. What's new, what's now, and what's next, plus first alert weather every 10 minutes. Wake up with Good Morning Northwest from Apple Valley News Now, on your side.
Power your adventures with the all-electric 2024 Subaru Solterra. It comes with legendary Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive, standard, plus a rugged 8.3 inches of ground clearance. Everything about the Subaru Solterra is advanced, including the technology keeping you and your passengers safe. Love is now electric.
Find your way home in a new Subaru Solterra from McCurley Subaru during the Subaru A Lot to Love event.
You deserve a great mattress. Get one now with no credit needed for just $39 down and 100 days, same as cash. Only at Mattress Depot USA.
Low prices every day. Mattress Depot USA.
Stacy Lee, KapKView First Alert Weather. Watch tonight. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Culberth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Right now you're taking a live look at a beautiful sunrise in Yakima. This view coming courtesy of Bimart. Temperatures this morning in the 40s and 50s for the foothills, but looks like it's mainly 40s for the rest of us. We'll definitely need a jacket this morning as you're headed out the front door, but a little bit later today, t-shirt weather, as it's going to be seasonal. It's going to be sunny. Highs will end up being in the 80s. Could have a little bit of light haze for the Blue Mountains, also for the foothills, maybe for portions of the basin. It's all going to be pretty light. Air quality should be pretty good. And then for tonight, skies will stay clear. Overnight lows only dropping off into the 50s, so a little bit milder compared to what we're dealing with for this morning. But overall, a pretty comfortable and quiet night. So today's going to be seasonal. And that's going to be the end of that, as we'll have super seasonal weather for the next 6 to 7 days. Looks like it's all going to peak by the time we get to Sunday. We'll be up around 100 degrees in the Tri-Cities. So very hot stuff for this time of the year. Will be about 10 to 15 degrees above average for this time of the year. A little bit cooler after that, but still above average. And also we'll track these little shower and thunderstorm chances for Monday and Tuesday, mostly for the Blue Mountains. But think about it, there's going to be a stretch of pretty hot and dry weather in the run up to that. So our vegetation is going to be pretty dry. Of course, we talked about that a couple minutes back. We'll talk about it again coming up in the 6 o'clock hour. But we'll watch the fire start potential very, very closely. Here's a 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Sunny and seasonal with light haze for today, maybe warming up to around 100 by Sunday. We'll cut it pretty close. Then for Yakima, we'll have our last day of 80s today for a while. It's going to be mid-90s for Labor Day weekend. And then for Ellensburg, we'll also see mid-90s for the weekend. Breezy with very dry vegetation for Monday and Tuesday. Then for Hermiston, light haze drifting in today with sunny and seasonal weather. Otherwise, very toasty for Saturday and Sunday, but cooler by Labor Day. And then for Walla Walla, highs climbing into the mid-90s for the holiday weekend, back into the 80s by Tuesday with a very small shower chance.
Now, the morning sprint.
Time is now 5:50. It's time for your morning sprint in our 5 o'clock hour.
We're going to take you right to your 6 o'clock hour, but first up, here are the top 5 local things you need to know this morning. The city of Pasco can move forward on its capital improvements plan with a little more insight from the community. The city held its final open house of the plan last night. The capital improvement plan details the changes and new things coming to Pasco in 2025 to the year 2030.
It details everything from city infrastructure to future investments, and will keep you updated on what changes the city plans to bring to the community.
The Benton Franklin Health District has sent out a community survey for residents impacted by the Lineage fire. This survey is in response to concerns raised by residents at the Lineage Logistics Fire Town Hall meeting held in Findlay back in May. Officials say the purpose is to gather data on the health impacts experienced by those living within a 1-mile radius of the Lineage Logistics warehouse.
The man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students in 2022 will be back in court this morning. Brian Koberger's attorney will try to convince the judge to move the trial to Ada County, while prosecutors will try to convince the judge to keep the trial in Moscow. Koberger's lead attorney is adamant that an impartial jury does not exist in Moscow.
The Richland School District is doing construction at 11 schools, all focused on safety and security. This follows the capital projects levy passed by RSD voters in February 2023. Construction crews have been working evenings and weekends to prepare for the students' return to schools this week. Coming up this week, we head to one of those construction sites to see some of the progress.
Yakima's Triumph Treatment Center is holding its 8th annual International Overdose Awareness Day event tomorrow. Organizers say 96 people died of an overdose last year in Yakima County. This event features speakers who have experienced overdose, lost friends and/or family, and those working to help save lives. The event is free and will run from 10 to 2 at Sarge Hubbard Park.
In national news, the FBI has released new details about the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump at the rally in Pennsylvania.
The FBI says Thomas Crook's search history shows he searched, quote, how far was Oswald from Kennedy, also how to make a bomb from fertilizer, and, quote, how do remote detonators work. Officials released pictures of 2 IEDs found in his car and that he had been researching IEDs since 2019. The FBI says Crooks had more than 60 searches on both Democratic and Republican campaign events.
The U.S. Supreme Court declined to lift the block on President Biden's student loan repayment plan. The SAVE plan aims to slash monthly payments and quicken the path to loan forgiveness.
This comes after lower courts blocked it this summer in a legal challenge brought by GOP-led states. The order has no immediate impact on the 8 million borrowers currently enrolled in the program.
The Labor Day travel period begins today. TSA is expected to screen a record-breaking 17 million people through September 4th. TSA is reminding travelers to arrive extra early for domestic and international flights.
In recent weeks, average gas prices have hovered around $3.50 a gallon. And according to AAA, domestic travel over the Labor Day weekend is forecasted to be up to 9% compared to last year.
United Airlines flight attendants could be walking off the job after an overwhelming majority voted yesterday to authorize a strike. That's if their contract negotiations continue to hit a dead end through November.
The Association of Flight Attendants say the move to vote on a strike was fueled by United's lack of negotiating in good faith. The union members have been working with an amended contract that expired in 2021. In your health headlines, the CDC has issued another warning about the listeria outbreak from Boar's Head deli meat. So far, at least 9 people have died from the contaminated meat.
There's also 57 confirmed listeria-linked illnesses in 18 states. Back in July, Boar's Head recalled more than 7 million pounds of its ready-to-eat liverwurst and other meats like ham, bologna, sausage, and roasted bacon. Boar's Head says it's intensely investigating what the root cause is.
In your sports news this morning, the Seattle Mariners wrapped up their series with the Tampa Bay Rays with a win.
It was all tied up after the second inning, but the Mariners came out swinging in the fifth, scoring 4 runs. The final score 6-2 for the Mariners. Seattle's winning its series 2-1. The Mariners are currently second in the AL West, and they'll be taking on the Angels in LA tomorrow night.
The competition begins today for the 4,400 athletes competing in the 2024 Paralympic Games. The opening ceremony was held yesterday, and for the first time in history, the event was held outside of a stadium.
168 delegations took part in the celebration. The Games will feature 549 medal events over 11 days. Well, do you consider yourself a brave person, and would you be brave enough to wear a beard of bees?
Maybe. Well,
I don't
That's a no.
No.
That's a no. Yeah.
Well, it was all the buzz at the State Fair in Minnesota. 10,000 honeybees were placed on volunteers for the University of Minnesota's Bee Lab's Bee Beard demonstration.
I'm not playing this up. I'm having like a visceral reaction right now. It's an annual tradition celebrating its 25th year. To form the beard, a small cage holding the queen is placed around the volunteer's neck, and the other bees follow.
One volunteer says it feels a little prickly. None of the volunteers got stung. Can you believe that?
So if you don't do anything, they won't sting you. So I think I just don't like buzzing. So if I hear buzzing, I will like automatically flinch.
I've never been stung, and I'm nervous about what kind of a reaction I would have.
Who knows?
If you get stung, you would both change your minds.
I have an EpiPen, okay. Well, check this out. So Animal Control in Maryland got a call about an alligator sighting on a walking trail. But take a look at who the officers found when they got there.
They managed to capture this guy. If you take a closer look, it's a rubber alligator, not the real deal.
Officers made the walking trails much safer from toy alligators. The person who called said they were too nervous to get too close to the creature.
I don't blame them.
So once officers realized it was a toy, they say they had quite the laugh, adding that it was placed in such a way that it did look realistic.
They did remove the alligator toy to prevent future calls.
Thankful for our officers.
It's a pretty realistic looking toy.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. I probably would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, coming up next on Good Morning Northwest at 6, there are changes for RSD students when it comes to cell phone use in classrooms. We have an in-depth look at what the new rules are in our next hour.
Plus, a Benton Franklin transit bus ended up in a yard in Richland. That story in just a few minutes.
And I'll show you a much more seasonal forecast for late August. Also, a peek ahead to that Labor Day forecast. That's going to be coming up at 6.